Ian, what more can you tell us about the situation in L.A. with Melo right now?
I can tell you that the Knicks have indeed offered Carmelo Anthony a maximum contract, 5 years, $129 million. The Lakers have offered Melo a max contract, but they can only offer 4 years, 96. So Carmelo has a lot of thinking to do this weekend about which direction he's going to go. Financially, of course, he can do best in New York. Now, the Knicks had talked about publicly potentially offering Carmelo less than the max, but I think Phil Jackson realized that his biggest advantage here was money, and ultimately that's why he decided to offer Carmelo the max tonight.
You said he offered the max. As we understand it, that offer was a verbal offer, nothing in writing at the moment. How important is it for Melo to get this whole thing ironed out before he comes back east, if in fact that is to come to pass here in the next couple days?
Well, I think his preference is to get this thing over soon. I don't think he's looking at a hard deadline, though. I don't think that necessarily the Knicks or any other team are going to pressure him to making into a decision any sooner than he's comfortable with. I think that he's going to take the July 4th weekend, relax a little bit, sort some things out, and then come to a decision. I think if not this weekend, we'll hear early next week ultimately what Carmelo decides.
What is most important for Melo here in this free agency period? We talk about the max offers that the Knicks can offer, comparatively to the other teams and what those numbers are that they can offer. Is it about the money? Is it about the rosters? Is it about the personnel as he goes through these meetings now?
I think everything factors in, but I think his priority is putting himself in a position where he can compete year in and year out for an NBA title. He's desperate to win his first title. He knows that athletes today are judged on a bottom-line basis, and winning a title is everything. But that being said, I know he's not looking at it as a next year or bust scenario. He's not saying to himself, I have to win a title next year. I think he's looking big picture. I think one thing he sees with the Knicks is Phil Jackson has this roster going in the right direction. I think the trade for Jose Calderon showed Carmelo that, and then he sees 2015 when the Knicks should have a decent amount of cap space, and I think he sees the future being bright in New York.
So percentage-wise, Ian, how confident are the Knicks that they can get their star back?
They know Chicago put on a big show for Carmelo. I think Phil Jackson knows that Chicago wowed Carmelo, and now they know that the Lakers have a maximum offer on the table for Carmelo. I think they have cautious optimism right there that Carmelo will re-sign in New York.
How important for Phil himself is it for him to get this deal done, and in many Knicks fans' eyes, for Phil not to strike out on this deal?
Well, he may take a little bit of a PR hit from the fan base, but I really think that Phil, and I'll go back to what he said a couple months ago, was the Knicks will be okay in Phil's eyes if Carmelo re-signs, and the Knicks will be okay in Phil's eyes if he doesn't re-sign. And I say that because Phil knows that he has a first-round draft pick in 2015 and a ton of cap space if Carmelo doesn't re-sign in 2015 to rebuild this roster. I think his preference is to have Carmelo back here because it's easier to build around Carmelo, a sure thing, than it would be to roll the dice in free agency. But he's confident in his ability to build a championship roster regardless.